Hi everyone, welcome to my South Carolina home. I'm Jim Shore, and I'm with you today to introduce you to a new collection that I've been working on for some time now that I'm pleased with, and I think you'll like it too. I started out doing Santa Clauses many years ago, and I've done them hundreds of different ways, and that's actually the subject that got me into the gift industry to begin with. But the one thing I think that really drove my passion for Santa Claus is to be able to express this iconic character in so many different ways. Early on, I focused on the folk art aspect of creating Santa Claus. And what I did, I think, that was a little bit different at the time was to take the shape of Santa Claus, translate it as a folk art character, and then rather than just decorating it in the usual seasonal colors, I added all various elements that are considered folk art motif, if you will. That includes the rose malling or versions of rose malling, quilt patterns, and some of the other things that have sort of morphed into what we consider Pennsylvania Dutch, or that sort of decoration. And along with the coloration, which is a very generally earthy combination of colors, I thought made a very attractive combination to put on that character. So I've sort of returned to that with this collection. This is a very folk art oriented version of Santa, as you can see. I'm going to go through these kind of one at a time and sort of explain my rationale and why I came up with this collection the way it is. To begin with, Santa Claus generally is considered, just a fat, jovial, elf-type character. In folk art, I dropped all of those, requirements for the character himself and replaced it with shapes that are more consistent with the style of folk art. In this case, it's more of an elongated, stylized thing. You can see a lot of the chip carving and the facets made by the chisels and the gouges in it, and that kind of lends a homespun, handmade, Americana kind of look to it, and that I think is very appealing, as well as creating a visual texture on the piece that's more interesting than just simply a smooth piece. And you can see actually some of the cracks and the distressing and so forth that's in the wooden pieces, the wooden originals. And I've made this one a little on the plain side, which I think is a nice counterpoint to some of the other ones that have more emphasis on a complexity of design. So I've got the contrasting colors here, using a little bit of what I consider the rose malling elements, which are the common strokes and the stylized floral and that sort of thing. And along with the fairly stoic demeanor here, I think is a beautiful example of Santa in the folk art style. This next one is kind of similar in a way. Of course, it's a different shape and a different proportion. And it's once again got the along with the Santa, the symbol of one of the symbols of Christmas that we come to know, and that's the Christmas tree. It's been around as a symbol for Christmas for an awful long time, so I use it a lot. And I've decorated it in a fairly, once again, simple way. I put in a check pattern, which is very commonly used in the simpler quilts of the early days, and then a little bit, once again, of the rose malling elements with some contrasting colors, bringing in some blue in this one. This one is another piece that is executed a little bit differently in that I have decorated it with a style of decoration that was very common front and back in the colonial era, and it's called, it's based on a styling called Fraktur. It's a German stylization that was used heavily in the 1700s, late 1600s, 1700s, early 1800s. You'll see it a lot if you travel to Williamsburg, because that was a favorite styling of the day, and you'll see an awful lot of examples of it, of the original pieces from that era there. So I like it a lot, and I think it lends itself, to this character, and because it's not necessarily oriented towards Christmas, but it's got a lot of the Christmas colors, and I think it's just a beautiful way to render a design that that decorates something like a Santa Claus here very beautifully. At the bottom, we've got this sort of chevron shape that was popular in the day, based on triangles, and this is a loose version of the flock of geese version that a lot of quilters that will be familiar with. Once again, the contrasting red and green, along with the somewhat maroon background, I think is a very nice color counterpoint. Now, this one here, similar in style, but as you can see, the way I've decorated it is a little bit different, in that I've used elements that you'll find in quilting a lot in the early quilts up to let's say the late 1700s and early to middle 1800s. They used stars, hearts. They used this version of the 8-pointed star very frequently, and then they would generally stagger those blocks the way I've shown here, and then put some sort of minor decoration to complete the design, and that's what I've patterned this after, along with the this kind of on a quilt you would see it as an applique border, and so I've used that very thing and picked up some of the colors in the piece. Now the focal point of it is something that's almost become a symbol these days, frequently used for the holidays and for winter too, and that is the cardinal, the red bird, and Santa is of course holding his home, and that's kind of a little storytelling that you'll find a lot of times in these folk art pieces. So this is the collection, and there's more to come, and there's more to it, and so you'll see more in the future. But I wanted to give you a taste of it just to see what you think, because it's kind of me returning to my earlier days, kind of my roots in the art world relative to the gift industry. And I thought you'd be interested in seeing it. I hope you like it. You'll see it in your shops soon enough. And so it was a delight to have you here today. Thanks a lot. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.